for all the latest community news and events.
103.2 Preston FM.
Your community, your radio.
In the studio right now, it's nice to welcome two guys into the studio. That's Daniel Fisher and Johnny Geldhill, and they're going to be talking about Brew Start Lancashire. So should I come to you, Daniel, first of all? Tell us all about, because I'm dying for a cuppa. I've been in here for 2 hours and I need a drink. So tell us all about Brew Start Lancashire.
Well, basically, the idea came about because I've sat down with Johnny and another associate of ours, and we looked at what was happening to help new start businesses and people with just business ideas, and realised that all the networking events out there were charging people to attend, or there was a fee, and it was all very sales pitch when you went in there, and there was no groups that were just meeting up to have a friendly chat, help new start businesses, and generally just have a brew and just get support from people who've been there, done it. And more importantly, people who've been there, done it, failed, and learnt from it so they can help people who've just started again. And that's basically where the idea stemmed from originally, and it's just kind of gone from there.
And, I mean, it does sound such a simplistic idea, doesn't it? And, I mean, don't they say that people within small and medium business, that if they don't make it within the first 5 years, and that's when they particularly need the help and advice. So presumably this is a good way of people coming together and meeting people who have made it and getting the advice and guidance for the future. Is that how it kind of works?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say that it's probably in the first 2 years, but that's my personal opinion. But yeah, it's about getting that advice, because obviously there's websites available out there for new start businesses to look on where to go, but it generally just sends you in a direction. It doesn't send you to people. It doesn't give you the advice that you need, and that's really what we offer to people. And we have people from Lancashire Leap coming down because they offer a new start program there, which is really helpful because it trains them in HR, financial matters, and a bit of the marketing and general management. So we get local companies to sponsor the events, hence why it's free to everyone attending. And everyone sits down, goes through the problems if they've got any, goes through the successes as well, because the way someone else is doing something might help the way you're doing it.
So how often do you meet? And Johnny, what are some of the problems that are coming up then?
Hi, we meet every other Tuesday at Fanaki's on Friargate, Preston, 8 ostensibly till 9:30, but you know, some
goes
of the guys
on.
are still there at 10:30, 11 o'clock thrashing out problems. The sort of problems that we get, the guys that attend talking about, can be anything from staffing to finance. I mean, normally it's the sort of thing that can't get enough staff to carry out their operations at the moment. Maybe they've got some staff that just left. They're new start and early start companies, so they're not really in a position to just go out and hire. Often the help is friends or family that are helping out in the early stages of business. So they've got very real challenges there. The finance as well, the admin side of it, all can be quite overwhelming when you're in the first 6, 12, 18 months even of a new business.
So is it mainly people going solo for the first time with a business, so it's an enterprise that they're wanting to start themselves, so it's then looking at staffing in the future now to get finance to start that enterprise off?
It's really not that specific, to be honest. It's anybody who has either a business idea or an early stage, a concept, or even a startup that may have been trading, say, up to 12 or 18 months. But they're still in the early stages of business. They're hitting all sorts of teething problems. And as opposed to going to one of the more formal networking groups where they may feel a bit inferior, they're not quite established, they're not at that stage yet, is it relevant to me? They can come to Brew Start, sit down with like-minded people who are going through exactly the same journey and share the challenges that they're facing at the moment, but also with their experiences help others.
So it is then, Daniel, a need that is out there. It's a need that you're meeting. So you were right when you first came up with the thought of putting this together then?
Oh, definitely, yes. Every week we've got bigger and bigger. The attendances have grown. We've got Blog Preston who are going to come in now and do write-ups on us because it helps get our name out there, and of course it's helping the small businesses more than anything. I've started 2 businesses within the last 3 years locally, and that's something that was never available to me. And I think that if that was available 2 years ago when I started my first business, I would have been a lot smoother to where I am now. And I think that's generally what helps people. And as Johnny mentioned about staffing problems, we have a guy who comes in that's starting his own company, and he said, I can't afford to take anyone on, but I need this doing. And one of the mentors there just basically said, well, you can afford to take someone on for 5 hours a week, can't you? He said, yeah. Oh, I've never thought of that. And it's just that one little thing that's completely changed his business. That 5 hours a week's now a full-time position for that person.
And is it face-to-face constantly, or is there also then a kind of online community from these meetings?
Yeah, well, at the moment, the only online community is kind of the Twitter page, and but there's email support and everything else. I know a lot of the guys that have attended there, when they need help with any marketing or printing, stuff like that, they've rang me. They need help with business planning, they've called Johnny, and there's a few other people in there, like the Lancashire Elite Programme and people like that. So it's kind of spread around everyone, but there's always someone there to contact. But we are looking at getting the online forum up where people can go on there as well, interact and take the conversation further.
Right. And Johnny, from your point of view, I mean, the government are saying that they're going to be looking at finance for small and medium enterprises and businesses. I was talking to the leader of South Ribble Council this morning. She was telling me a little about the grants and what's available for people who are starting businesses up out there. What is the climate out there these days for people who want to start up businesses?
Well, there are plenty of resources. The problem is finding these people. They're almost off radar. They're often working for another company at the moment, a larger company, with thoughts of going self-employed. They've maybe just started up on their own, or they may be in the first few months of trading. But at that stage, whether you've been in business yourself, you know that it's literally 20 hours a day. There are just never enough hours in the day to get through all your tasks. So the thought of actually taking time out of work to go on this course or that course or attend this networking event is often low down the priority. This is before the working day starts, if you like, 8 o'clock in the morning. You can come along, it's very informal, but we can point you in the right direction.
Lovely. And Daniel, for anybody listening, for people who are listening at the moment, who would be the people you're saying to, come and join us, get involved with us? Who are listening out there maybe thinking about starting up their own business or just started up their own business? Yeah,
basically, my main aim is them people who are at work every Friday. They can't wait for Friday, and then they come in Monday morning again and they go, oh, I've got to do this again. But they have that burning desire in the back of their mind that they know they can do something. They're just a bit scared or a bit hesitant that they think they'll fail. And we're there to kind of help them take that leap and that little push to go, you can do it. Come down, get the advice, and do your research. And that's the thing that we kind of promote to people, is about doing your research first before jumping in, which a lot of people are scared about. So yeah, as Johnny was saying, it's the people that just have the ideas in their mind, or people who have just started that feel very isolated, because starting a business can be very lonely. And if it's just you on your own, or you and someone else working there 10, 12 hours a day maybe, and it does become a very lonely place, and you feel like you can't go out and talk to the big corporations, you can't go to the bank to get a loan and stuff like that. And that's where we come in and kind of show them, right, you can go here, you can go there. It's more of a friendly voice.
So when you were starting your two businesses up, would it have been easier, or would it have helped you more if you'd have had this kind of networking at that point?
Oh, definitely, yes. The good thing about my second business, that it only started in October, and we started in December, so it was only 2 months later. But with the first business, it's kind of like I was a little fish in a big pond, I should say, and I kind of went through the struggles myself, highs and lows, and luckily enough for me, we're at a high and we carry on going. But if there was something like this back then, I would have been there every other week and getting advice and going forward, because the guys there, as we mentioned before, some of them have been through it all before. And there's some of the mentors from Lancashire Elite Programme, because they sponsor every other event.
What is that Manchester Elite Programme?
Oh, the Lancashire Elite Programme is basically a free startup programme for people with business ideas or new businesses. And basically it's a free programme funded by the Boost Lancashire. It's a 4-week course, so every Wednesday for 4 weeks of the month, they'll go to a location, they'll get some training and mentoring on a business idea, they'll help them write a business plan, HR, go through funding, everything that you need to know about a small business, they'll help you with for them 4 weeks. And then at the end of it, they offer you a mentor that'll help you progress.
Right.
The next one's actually in Blackburn, starting in March. So it's a really brilliant program. I actually went on a program for my new business, and that's how I kind of came up with some of the ideas and Fisher Johnny about it.
Right, okay. Well, tell our listeners where they can find out more, where they can get the information from, and how they can get in contact with you.
Right, the easiest way is, obviously, we're on Twitter. We've got a good presence on there. So it's at Brew Start, all one word. We also have all our events on Eventbrite, so people can register on there, and it really helps. They can email us and call us. They could just happily call my office or email Johnny as well. The contact details are on Eventbrite. So yeah, there's many ways of getting in touch with us, really.
And the next meeting coming up?
Tomorrow.
At Finacki's.
Yes.
There you are. And the times again?
It's from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. and that's on Finacki's on Friargate, Preston.
Brilliant. And
you get nothing else out of it. There's coffee, pastries and bacon sandwiches.
And we also
Yes.
team up with local businesses. So for tomorrow's event, everyone that turns up gets a voucher for 10% off printing from a local printing company.
Right, so it's brilliant networking again, isn't it? I
Yeah.
often talk to lots of people where networking is the big issue, and it really makes things move, doesn't it, if you network together?
Yeah, and it's not the scary networking. There's not everyone turning up in just suits and ties and talking about £10,000 contracts. It's people turning up in whatever they turn up to work in, just relaxed, having a brew. And that's where the name is. It's just a brew start for new starts.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, you have made it because you've now been on Preston FM. And our mates at Preston Blog, if they're going to be doing a story, they take our stories if they're listening. So they'll be coming and doing a story with you. So we'll look out for you on Preston Blog.
No, that's brilliant, yeah.
Okay, so thanks for coming in this morning. Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
Thanks for listening. We hope you've enjoyed the interviews as much as we have. Why not give us a tweet at ChatCityBFM?